Thanks to the support as a channel member, Oliver Adams. Well, here we are then, folks. In today's episode, we either end our journey in America because we realise we are just not on a level as the Mexican teams, or we find out we've got a very, very good chance of winning the Champions League at the first attempt. Because as early as the second round in this competition, we are facing good Mexican opposition. We're up against Pumas. Pumas knocked us out of the Leagues Cup last season. If they beat us, we know as the best team in the MLS by quite a long way, we just don't have a chance. We're never going to win this as an MLS team. Whereas if we can be competitive, if we can beat Pumas, even though we might not go in and win it this year, we have a pretty good chance. And this tournament is very winnable. Despite being called a Champions League, there is no league element. We've already navigated the first round, beating Saprissa of, I think, Costa Rica 7-0 on aggregate. If we get through this second round, that's quarter-final time, where we face either Columbus Crew or Chivas, the team I managed the only other time I was in Mexico. In fact, I've managed both of those teams before, which is an interesting one. And then, yeah, semi-final, etc. moves on from there. But we've got to get past Pumas first. And we've got to do it without our goalkeeper. Ernest Yamoa has damaged his shoulder. He's going to be out for 3 weeks. He's going to miss both legs. We don't really have a backup goalkeeper. It's the weak point of the entire squad. So Edouard Boge is going to make his debut for us in goal in the biggest game in the history of this football club. He's previously only played 43 games in his entire career. This is his moment. It's Boge in goal, a back four of Parencha, Contreras, Fus and Nabil, Persson and Asker in midfield, Velez, Estevez and Unlove behind Villakazi up front. And by the way, Unlove is having a lovely time now that he's fit again. 5 assists in his first 3 matches. He's as good as he was when he left. He did his cruciate ligament. He's as good as he was before we broke him. We just need to hope that he's up to doing it against the Mexicans and we don't re-break him. But obviously the main goal here, survive, because having a dodgy goalkeeper in is not my idea of a good time. We have got 3 centre-backs on the pitch with Asker playing in midfield, so we've got plenty of theoretical defensive protection for him. But ultimately, if we're in a proper, like, 50-50, this team's quite good team match, which is what it was when we played him in the Leagues Cup last year, the goalkeeper definitely could make a difference, and not in the way we would like a goalkeeper to make a difference in a football match, which is not ideal. Here's his first test. He made the save. There you go. Boge is going to be the hero of the entire save. If we get through this with man of the match performances from him, he can be my Champions League goalkeeper for the rest of the save. To clarify, he does need man of the match performances in both legs in order to earn the spot long term. But I mean, he's made more saves than I expected him to already. So that's a good start. And it's about the only player we've had who's made a good start, because looking at those match stats, we are struggling. Obviously, this is the away leg. The plan in the away leg is to survive it and still be in with a chance when we get them back to our place and hopefully have a bit more of an opportunity to make something happen back in Charlotte. And to be fair, after a bright start for Pumas, the whole game has quietened down a little bit. It's been killed off by all the defenders we've got on the pitch. And if this first leg ends 0-0, I'm very happy that that's job done for the first leg. Nearly 40,000 people have turned up. Pumas are ready to go on and win the tournament. We'd quite like to win it too. Velez is the only player in our team who's having a half decent game. So if we are going to get something, maybe it comes through him. Unlove looks like he's struggling a little bit for fitness levels, which, bearing in mind he's only 5 games back from a damaged cruciate ligament, is probably an indication that we should take him off. So let's get Edwin Davids on, the other South African, on that side. We're also going to bring on Lenning. We've got to make a lot of changes here. Grimmer is, in fact, not Grimmer. Runnelson's going to come on in there. Prencha's going to come off as well for Skrelgel. And we also need to take off Nabil. Daluli can, yeah, we will play Daluli. 5 changes, another centre back on, but one came off as well with Asker giving up in midfield. But 5 changes all in one go shows we are struggling a little bit for fitness. Vilakazi, a little bit nonchalant from him, playing it all the way back to centre-back. But the substitutions haven't gone through yet. So Unlove is still on, drills it across, looking for his big buddy. And he's his big buddy in more ways than one. Estevez to Velez. We said the breakthrough would come from him if it was going to come. He's forced a corner. Obviously, we're getting rid of Asker before the corner can take place. So I guess it would have been aimed at Big Kurt. But it was so ineffective, we didn't even get to see it in a highlight. And we continue just trying to survive. We have another corner. Velez with the in-swinger. And Skrielj. I don't know how to say his name. He's done a football goal. The referee is checking with the VAR. I don't know if this is going to be given. What a way to score your first goal this would be, though. It has been disallowed. I don't know how he's offside from that. He's scored directly from the corner. I mean, that's not offside. He's the only player who touches it. I'm never going to accept that is offside. That's ridiculous. That's surely not given as offside in real life, is it? That's madness. Right, Runarsson to Big Kurt, out to Davids. Lenning playing centrally, on a rare appearance centrally. Kurt Vilakazi hits the post. Velez scores. We said it was going to come through him. I think that one's been given as well. I mean, Kurt Vilakazi hits the post. Everyone was involved. We have got better as the game has gone on. This is the difference we made in that transfer window we've just had. We have squad depth now. We can bring someone like Davids on. We can bring someone like Lenning on. Remember how bare bones we were in the MLS Cup final. We've now been able to bring the likes of Runarsson, Daluli, Skrielj, and these guys have all come off the bench. As Pumas have got weaker, we've got stronger. It's wonderful. If we can grab a second one, we're winning the Champions League this year. It's Velez to take again. I think he's going for the short one this time, as he should, with 89 minutes on the clock. Just keep it in the corner. Lenning tries to play it across. He didn't read the script. And it comes all the way back to Foose, who hasn't even gone forward for that corner. And now Runarsson back to Foose again. It worries me that this highlight is continuing. We've got nobody in our half other than the goalkeeper. Davids bursts into the area, though, plays it across. I think he's won another corner. We are camped out in the Pumas penalty area at the moment. It feels like a second goal is coming, and that might just kill off the tie heading into the second leg, which would be delightful if it happens. And there it is, and it is Skrielj. He thought he'd scored earlier. He has scored now. It's 2-0. He looks like he's quite the threat from set pieces. We've brought him in as a left back who can play centre back. We are training him to play centre back. He's 6'1". He's not really here to play left back. We've got Prencha and the other guy we brought in, Mitev, I think his name is. So Skrielj long term is here to play centre back. And as you can see, he's pretty good in the air, and that does give Pumas a lifeline going into that second leg, unless the referee is going to do me a favour. We've already had a ridiculous header from a corner disallowed for offside at one end. Not at this end, though. I mean, I'm not going to say it's corruption. It's absolutely corruption. I mean, Kurt Vilakazi stood on the line there. There's no way that's ever going to be offside with him stood there. But 2-1, we definitely take going in. It does mean it's a little more than a formality in the second leg, though. So I think we've got an MLS game in the meantime. I'll play that off camera and we'll be back for that second leg against Pumas. Right, I'm trying not to be a conspiracy theorist here. However, it does feel like the injuries are targeting me in positions we don't have strength in depth. We've already lost Yamoa. Ledshi, who is the South African attacking midfielder who came in just before the window closed, isn't registered for the Champions League. He didn't come in time to be registered for the Champions League, so we don't have a backup attacking midfielder, which means Roman Estevez has now done a hip injury and is out for 2 to 3 months, which means he'll miss pretty much all of the Champions League, which means at the moment, Mejia is the man who is going to be playing. I can't believe we're resorting to this guy again. He's back. Mejia is back. In fact, what on earth is this 11? I think this is a game that thinks we've already won and we're through to the next round. Bear with me, I'm going to pick a more sensible team because this is ridiculous. Right, I've shuffled things around a little bit, especially in the front four. So Villa comes back in up front. I'm actually going to play Runarsson there because I don't think we need to use him in midfield today. Grimmer and Persson should be able to handle that on their own. So Runarsson, who can play there, can move a little bit further forward. Obviously, in the league, we've got Mledchi, who can do the job. I don't know if we can register players for the Champions League as the competition goes on. I guess we'll find out. Velez and Unlove out wide. Foos, by the way, is now an accomplished right back. We trained him to play there, so he's going to start there. And Skriels will play left back. It does mean that we've effectively got 4 centre backs on the pitch, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's get the team submitted and hopefully get the job done. The fact that Selection Advice was seemingly so confident that it was happy to do a massive amount of rotation does indicate that, fingers crossed, this will go quite well for us. 2 minutes on the clock, Contreras scores. It's a lovely free kick from Velez. It's 1-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. If we make it to half time and we're 2 or 3-0 up, we might end up making those changes and bringing the guys on who Selection Advice wanted to start. We won 5-0 in the league, by the way, away against Atlanta United. So we're pretty good domestically as well. But after going to Mexico and picking up a win, it would be very nice to put on a little bit of a show in the home leg and really send a message to the rest of this competition that we mean business. We plan on winning it next year, and I plan on spending next Christmas in Brazil or Argentina, or realistically probably Brazil or Argentina. I'll have a look to see what jobs are available. Obviously, once our Champions League is won, it looks like Chivas are 2-0 up against Columbus as well. So I don't know what the score was in their first leg, but as it stands at the moment, it could be a return to Chivas. The last time I played a YouTube video that involved them, it basically killed a series. So hopefully it's not going to do that again. I'm very much enjoying the Pentagon. Persson from the edge of the area, it touches the top of the crossbar and goes behind for a goal kick. Pumas not even been able to get a shot away yet. We're playing very well. We started very well. I would feel a lot more comfortable if we could grab ourselves a second goal, just to really add a little bit of a cushion for us. Velez with the free kick. Villakazi nods it down, and there was just no one in there to finish it. Because the other option, of course, rather than playing Runarsson up there, if we're not able to register a new attacking midfielder for the Champions League, the other option is to go to a 4-2-4 and stick Condori up alongside Villakazi. So that's a thing that I'd be interested in doing. Foos has picked up a knock here, so we'll bring on Deluli to play right back. Keep all the centre backs on, and fingers crossed, just get ourselves to the finish line now. We've got the 2-goal advantage. I'd like to make it 3, and then we can take off the likes of Unlove and Villakazi, who obviously are going to play a lot of football over the course of this season, and the more rest we can get into them, the better, especially Unlove, who came back from his cruciate ligament, went straight to South Africa to play in the African Nations Cup, had a deep run in that, starting every game, and has now played every game since the season has started with us. So he is going to need a rest at some point. We have got 2 other options on that right-hand side, so we don't have to play him into the ground. So we probably do need to take him off in a moment regardless. He might come off on the hour mark. He's not playing particularly well today anyway, so it probably won't hurt to bring him off and get one of the other guys on. There is Unlove, in fact, just making the point. He doesn't need to come off. And who's not playing well? He's just made himself the goal that gets us into the quarterfinal. Lovely stuff from Unlove. He is, I don't know who my real boy is from this save. Who's my boy? Is it Villakazi? Is it Unlove? I'm already starting to think in terms of who might be coming with me to South America. I don't think I can take them both, because we probably won't be able to afford them. I mean, they've got some decent value now. He's worth up to 9 million. I think Villakazi's in a similar range. It's not going to be like bringing him in from South Africa on the cheap, unless we end up at a massive club. And obviously we want to be at a club that's never won the Champions League before, down in South America. So the chances of us being able to spend £10 million on a player are probably fairly slim. I don't know what the money's like down in Brazil. Right, Hall has come on for Unlove anyway. He is the guy we brought in on a free transfer, or on a trade, I think it was, back in the transfer window. And Aaron Hall has his first goal for the club, and just demonstrating that we do have some strength in depth on that right-hand side. We have got options. Can any of you lads play a bit more central? I mean, in reality, I think there probably is an argument that you could play Hall or Davids in that attacking midfield position with Unlove wide of them. Obviously, Football Manager's not going to allow us to do that, but it's a thing that should be able to happen. Right, in fact, Grimmer is going to come off. We'll push Asker forward, and we'll bring on Mitev to play at right back. And then I think we'll also take off Runnerson. And we will let Mejia have his run out. I told you he was going to play, and now he is getting 20 minutes, actually playing in his preferred position as well. Let's see if he might be the solution going forward, because he had a couple of good moments playing on that right-hand side when he was there as an emergency player during the playoffs at the end of last season. Obviously, the playoffs ultimately didn't end very well for us. So it's one of the reasons why we went out and got as many wingers as we did in the transfer window. But he's still here. He's managed to cling on to a squad spot. And because he's so cheap, it just made sense to register him for both Champions League and MLS, because he was basically free in both of them. And now Velez is going to come off as well. Lenning can come on for him. Lenning, of course, is another option to play as the attacking midfielder. So although we don't have an out-and-out replacement for continental football, like I say, we do have the South African guy to play in the league. We've got a lot of players who can play there, and I'm hoping we'll be able to make a squad replacement anyway for the next round. Fingers crossed. Don't really know how it works. But 3-0 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate. I went into this worried that Pumas might be the end of the road for us, and I think what we've learned is we should be aiming to win the Champions League this season. This is the team that knocked us out of the League Cup last year, made us realise how far we still had to go with our squad building. Well, the squad is now built, and look how far we've come in less than a year. We've thumped the team that upset me so very much less than a year ago, which is jolly nice. Boj likes to concede a goal every match, though, but hopefully we have Yamoa back for the next round. I don't know how much time passes between now and the quarterfinal. I don't actually know if the Champions League runs like to the summer or if it runs the full length of the MLS season. I don't know. So it might be that we only get halfway through this season if we're going to win the Champions League. But there you go. We are through. And I think the confirmation will be we are playing Club Deportivo Guadalajara. And if we beat them, it's Cruz Azul or Santos Laguna in the semi-final. So it's Mexican teams all the way from now, I think. We have played Cruz Azul before. I think we knocked them out of the League's Cup. Yeah, we knocked them out on penalties before losing to Pumas. So, I mean, interestingly, we did beat Pumas in the group stage 3-0, but then lost to them in the semi-final last year. What a strange thing the League's Cup was last season. But importantly, Chivas, and they'll be tomorrow. Let's go deal with them. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to all of my beautiful Patreons. And thank you very much for watching. Use your words, Kev.